Go, go. Ranger Rabble. Go, go. Ranger Rabble.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 5 of Ranger Rabble. As always, Leo V on this side.
Kyle D over here, and today we have a special guest with us. It's Tomic Book Guy from No Late Fees. Ha!
It's Morphin' time!
No, way to tell me we were doing the morph thing. I always do it. The one time I don't.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
And, man, we are super excited. Today we are talking the 2017 Power Rangers movie. And boy, is this an
Dumpster fire?
I'm pretty sure I'm a superhero. Cool.
Pee in that cup.
Kyle, this is disappointing. We don't have like a fun theme song to to go on for this one.
Do you want to just sing? We'll sing a Kanye West song, or we'll sing "I'll Make Your Hands Clap." When I think of Power Rangers, the first thing I think of is Kanye West pop song.
It's morphin' time.
Do it better than anybody you ever seen.
Yeah, obviously.
This movie was so bad.
Dude, I don't want to sound too blunt, but this movie is hot dog shit. I didn't remember. I honestly didn't remember why I hated it the last time I saw it, which was probably when it first came out. But dude, this movie is painful. It's boring. It is so goddamn boring. Like, to me, the cool thing about the first couple seasons of Power Rangers is that it was Power Ranger shit with teenage goofiness going on in the background. This movie takes the teenage drama and puts it front and center with the Power Ranger stuff all the way at the tail end. You don't see any Power Rangers suits until an hour and 2 minutes. Billy transforms, he morphs for fucking 3 seconds, and it's gone. And then it's an hour and 30 minutes before we see them in their fucking suits.
It is. I think they tried very hard to give it the Avengers kind of look, pull off Iron Man, very much the nanobots of it all.
I hate that look, by the way. I can't stand that look.
This movie was just bad all around.
Yeah.
Goldar looked like absolute dog shit.
Yep.
The Megazord.
Destroyer from Thor.
It seemed, yes, it does look like him. They obviously saw too many Transformers movies, and Marvel was on such a high at this point that they were just like, let's make a Marvel-style Transformers movie with Power Rangers as the fucking title. Because that's what it is. It's what it is, and it's a shame because this movie is god-awful.
It's one of those movies where it really could have been something, but the pacing of it was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. I think one of the biggest things that Power Rangers did as a series on TV very quickly was, okay, you have these powers and like you essentially know what to do with it with not a lot of explaining.
Yeah.
This movie was like, no, we're going to explain the entire movie. We're going to make this entire middle of the movie a training montage.
Yeah.
The best scene in the movie is the opening scene with Rita and Zordon. That world looks interesting. Them on whatever Earth that is. It says Earth in the captions.
The Cenozoic era.
Yes. That's the movie I think I wanted to see. That looks so much more interesting than the Angel Grove we got and the Earth we got. And
let me see that battle that killed the Yellow Ranger. Let me see, why that giant spaceship, was that supposed to be the command center? Like, is that the only inference we're really supposed to make? Because they were in a spaceship later on, so was that like Alpha escaping to like get out of the way for previous heroing?
I do like
no real explanation with that.
I do like how Rita was the original Green Ranger, though.
I didn't mind that either.
That was solid.
Yes,
very much. I wanted more from that. Like they should have given me a little of the battle leading up to that, so that I had more of a, that's what the Green Ranger's gonna do?
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go.
Dude, Elizabeth Banks is the only fun part of this whole movie. It seems like the cast and crew of the rest of the movie got different directions than what Elizabeth Banks got. They're like, let's make this dark, gritty, and like a serious tone, and let's actually try to act, because, all due respect, the actors and everyone, they do a decent job. It's just the material that's awful. But Elizabeth Banks is just like, I saw the original Rita. I'm doing that.
I forgot it was her until she was robbing the gold store, and I was like, "Oh right, that's who. Oh right, that's who this is." Didn't fit with the rest of the movie at all, as far as like casting wise. But she did a great job.
Yes, the tones definitely collide 1,000%. But she's fun. She's campy. She's like a fucking 60s horror villain character or something. It's weird. It's very out of place, but she definitely fucking camps it up when she's on screen. It's the only fun part of the movie, I think.
The suit that she had on was fucking cool too.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
it wasn't that overly like the old Rita from the 90s. It was like a sexy but scary take on Rita. Yeah. And like you were saying, Elizabeth Banks pulled it off so well. I kind of want to see a Rita movie with Elizabeth Banks in it.
You never will, though.
Exactly. We never fucking will.
So this movie had a $105 million budget, $50 million marketing budget, and it pulled in $142 million. This movie flopped. It needed to make the $300 million mark just to break even, give or take. And no, you will not be seeing a Rita movie, unfortunately.
And the fact that like the cast in general was so just out there. Like Zordon, Cranston as Zordon, phenomenal choice in my opinion.
I think he was a phenomenal choice, but I think he phoned it in the entire time. I love Bryan Cranston, but I think this they just got him in a room and they said, "Here's your lines," and just say them. We're gonna make your face a fucking 3D art etch-a-sketch looking thing from the 90s.
I did not like that.
It's like those old toys with like the needles, and you like stick. I used to stick my face against it.
Every kid would put the middle finger in and make the little 3D print,
and it just slid around on like a little screen.
Yeah, it was like a 3D print art thing with the little pins. It was
They only really brought him in, I think, because he did voices on the original series. Yeah. So it was like, okay, come back, do a voice, do a thing. Like
on paper, Bryan Cranston, solid choice. I think he kind of knew this movie was going to be dog shit, though, and kind of phoned it in. But also, he was not really there. He was just in a studio somewhere recording his lines. But
it's also hard to take that role seriously because it wasn't an honest portrayal of Zordon. It was kind of a like deceptor, like, yes, I need you guys to do this so I can come back to life. Like, it wasn't the, oh yes, my intentions are true and this is what we're doing. So it was a very weird take on what was supposed to be Zordon.
I have a question. You guys might know this better than I would. Zordon and Rita weren't green and red in any of the lore, right? No, that's what I thought.
Zordon was a Power Ranger at one point, though. Like he was like one of the wasn't he one of like the original in the lore? He was an original Ranger, and something happened where he got trapped in that tube. Or am I totally making that up on the spot?
As far as like the more recent lore that's come out from the comic books, they did a whole like new backstory of Eltar essentially. Zordon wasn't a ranger, but he was definitely like underneath somebody who was of a high stature of like the higher council of Eltar. So he was definitely like a known person, but he wasn't the like mentory figure necessarily that he is now.
Like I said, I forget where I saw it, but there was something that said that Zordon was a Power Ranger, and in the final battle, whoever he was fighting, I think it might have been Rita or Zed. I think it was Zed he fought. Like before Zed was like big and scary with the metal body and shit, that Zed beat him, and rather than kill him, he said, "I'm going to trap your life force in this tube for eternity." And somehow he found Alpha. Alpha took him away, and Command Center was built, and he found the Power Rangers again.
At least they maybe tried to explain how he got in the tube, because remember, Leo, we couldn't explain how he got in the tube.
Do you just live there now? Like, are you stuck there? Or like, because in the other movie there was an actual physical being inside the broken,
wearing the fucking
like the mithril armor from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
What did you think about Bill Hader as Alpha?
I'm not a huge Bill Hader fan, but his performance was fine. It didn't piss me off, but also didn't stand out.
Who thought of casting that?
Someone who watches a lot of Saturday Night Live.
I think there was potential there. They were, I think, going in the right direction with some of how he can improvise and some of his comedy stylings, but also Alpha's not really your comedic relief character. He's not.
I think Alpha is funny organically and by accident. He's not like a stand-up routine, throwing zingers your way and being like disrespectful. He's just funny by accident.
I hated the design.
Anyway, yeah.
The designs of this whole movie were fucking terrible. There's not a single thing, minus Rita's costume is okay. I don't like any of the designs, dude, in this movie.
You know what? I will say that was designed really well. That Krispy Kreme restaurant.
Yeah.
So I have a count on here. It's in 3 scenes and mentioned by name 7 times. We got to get to the Krispy Kreme. There's a dining establishment, the Krispy Kreme.
Like, yeah, how much money did they put into this movie for them to be that prominent?
A lot of fucking money, probably, because they're like, we need the 3rd act of your movie to end at Krispy Kreme. The Zeo crystal is fucking buried underneath the Krispy Kreme.
We need Elizabeth Banks to sit there and eat a Krispy Kreme. Star is passing through the roof.
That's one of the moments I almost turned the movie off. I forgot. I remembered the Krispy Kreme thing, so I prepared to make a note on how many times it was actually mentioned, but I forgot that they had her sitting against a table and actually fucking takes a bite of a Krispy Kreme donut. I almost turned it off, dude. There was a moment, we'll get there, that I turned the movie off. We'll get there when we get there, but I almost turned it off at the fucking Krispy Kreme donut bite.
So we finally get to meet our Rangers, and Jason is in the middle of, I guess, a senior prank, trying to steal a bull or...
They make a jerk-off bull joke in the opening fucking scene of the movie for some reason. They make a joke about jerking off a fucking cow or a bull, whatever the fuck it is.
I milked it. Oh, wait, you can't... Did it have one udder? Yeah.
Him or her?
Hands.
You milk hands.
Oh my god! That made it through. Right, that made it through a writer's room. Someone in a writer's room, multiple people saw that line of dialogue and they're like, "Ha, that's gonna fucking hit so hard."
It's a masturbation joke.
Yeah, right after that, I put all of them somehow meet at the mines. They all meet at the mine that's in the town somehow, in the greatest fucking circumstance of coincidences. They just happen to all be there at the same fucking time for whatever reason that they're there. It's just teenage cliches. All these characters are teenage cliches. Mm-hmm. You have the celebrity jock who loses his scholarship and now he's paying consequences for it. You have the pretty cheerleader who just wants to run away from the town to go anywhere else. You have the antisocial stoic girl who's just grumpy all the fucking time. And then you have, for some reason, Billy is just making crayons in his butt jokes the whole fucking first act of the movie, and he has autism for reasons, I guess, because you can't just be smart, you have to have autism to be smart in this movie. And Zach has no characteristics. He just sits there in the background and comments on things. He's just the joking guy who's just fucking never takes anything serious and always has something stubborn to say. He has no character development.
They didn't even give him a whole lot of room, like with whatever was going on with his mom. Like, he didn't get to know her enough to care. So, like, and I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but like, what do I care what's happening with her? I feel bad she's sick. Okay, cool.
No, he's just the
times, like,
they didn't show her till the end.
Mm-hmm. They did at least like 2 or 3 random cutaways to her, just like, oh, like, okay, sit up, let's speak in another language just because we can. Then there was another one where she was like, oh, did you come home at another point? And I'm like, do you care?
All I remember was her playing chess with him at the end. That's it. Also, I'm sorry, this movie's not very good at holding an attention span, so maybe I missed it, but as far as I can recall, I only remember the chess scene at the end where she seems pretty much like not suffering and fine. But, maybe she's just having a good moment. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
only Billy's mom really seems to be, like, involved in anything. Like, all
Jason's
the other
father, too.
Yeah.
Well, that was more of like a Breakfast Club moment at the beginning where they pull up to the school. He's like, you know what you're doing. I was like, is this like a modern Breakfast Club? Seriously. Like,
and the fact that The fact that Jason's dad is Roy from The Office, why?
Of all people.
Like, yeah, exactly. What? Like, I mean, I get it. He's a trash actor from a trash movie. I get it, dude. Like, I hated Roy. Fuck Roy. Pam and Jim forever.
The kid who played Jason, though, I mean, he's Billy in Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. He ended up,
Zachary something.
being successful.
Baker Montgomery is his name.
I think his performance, and this goes for pretty much everyone in it. Their performances are fine. It's just I don't want to see Jason like that. I don't remember Austin St. John being like a rebel in the beginning. He always kind of seemed like a natural leader, like teaching classes and stuff, even when you met him before he became the Red Ranger and the leader of the team. This one seems like he's troubled. He's fighting with his parents. He gets into there's like 2 crashes. He gets into a car crash in the beginning. He has an ankle bracelet on. It doesn't scream Jason to me.
So my take on that is they wanted to not give us that 90s teen vibe. They wanted to give us that modern day teen angst where it's just like I'm a really good kid, but I'm a bad boy too.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
I'm a
Bad boy. But no, but his portrayal though as Jason, I thought it was great. Like that was one of the selling points for me of the movie was seeing him cast. I love Dakin Montgomery. He's a phenomenal actor. But his portrayal of Jason, it gave us that teen angst vibe, but also that I'm coming of age, becoming a man, essentially, and putting him as the Red Ranger, in my opinion, right on the fucking head.
I think out of everyone, he was definitely the obvious choice for being Red, but I think they had a plan, I think for this movie in general, but definitely for Jason. They probably had a plan of how he was going to be in the second movie. Kind of went through some rough shit and learned from his mistakes and became a better leader, like he does at the end, basically.
Yeah.
But I feel like they just kind of threw this movie together to get to the second one, but unfortunately this movie wasn't successful enough to get to the second one.
They spent a lot of time trying to build the connection with the Rangers because they decided to make them all not friends to start with. Like they didn't have to all be best friends, but they didn't have to be complete strangers either, where like the whole point of the movie essentially becomes yes, you have to work together as a team, and it's not until midway through where they're like, we don't even fucking know each other. Like
yeah.
Who are you really? Like I know your name, but like I don't know you from a fucking hole in the wall.
Yeah.
So like they wasted so much time trying to do that end of it, where they could have just been like, okay, be friends, and then now you're still learning your Ranger powers, but it's not like infighting and like, okay, we need to just sit around and have a powwow just to like access our powers.
What we can't just sit around a campfire and just learn things about each other? Isn't that how all natural conversation happens?
Stop it, Scoutmaster Tom. We talked about this.
Yeah, but why do you think I always say like, hey, we're gonna meet at this campsite so we can have a fire, and I'll tell you secrets, you tell me secrets. That's how real life works.
Let's gather around the campfire. Let's gather around the campfire and sing our campfire song, our CAMPFIRESONG song.
How else would they have the? I think they put the campfire scene together to basically tell us Trini was gay or bi, which was there's no
that was
to
Becky
it.
G,
I mean,
right?
it's fine, but it doesn't move the story at all. Like, what was the point of it?
Inclusion, diversity, just to say they did it.
Yeah,
they were the woke Power Rangers.
Oh, but this is way before that whole woke thing came up.
Dude, 2017, woke was around.
Yes, it was around. I guess you're right because 2016 was the Ghostbusters remake.
Yeah,
I feel like that's my first major memory of anyone screaming woke this or woke that or any of that kind of fucking bullshit. These two movies definitely fall in the same category of I can't think of movies that I've hated more in the last 10 years than those two fucking movies of properties that I love and I'm a huge fan of, and they just fucking just punched me right in the face with brass knuckles on and then peed on my face when I was knocked out. I don't know. I fucking
wow.
Deleted.
When we were at the mines, that Billy puts in his explosions and like finds the power coins, which I don't even know that I would call a coin. If
No, it was a rock.
And they weren't
Right.
chosen. They weren't chosen because they were worthy. They were found.
Exactly. They just happen to find them. So you can't even say like, oh right, chosen or anything like that.
Yeah, that pissed me off too.
And then when they brought them all to school and they like caused the lunch counter to like boil and like, why do power coins need to have, is that so you don't put it down somewhere so that somebody else will just fucking say that, like bring them forward, don't let them sit at home for an entire day before they're like, well, I guess we'll go back and spend 20 minutes jumping around and running around rocks and like showing off these CG superpowers that we don't fucking need to be showing off.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the movie doesn't do a good job of explaining the way things work. Do they need the coins? Are the coins hot? Is the Power Ranger ability just built into them? Do they have to stand on those little circle lights in the command center to morph? Because that's kind of how Zordon and Alpha explain it. But then when they do morph, Billy's not standing in a fucking circle. He morphs in the hallway. What the fuck? Like it just whatever works for the scene. Mm-hmm. It's not like I don't know.
And Jason's delivery of it's morphin' time. Like, dude, we waited an hour and a fucking half for you to say the fucking words. And you just go,
it's morphin' time.
It's morphin' time.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm sitting there. I went to do this opening night in the theaters. My ass is sitting there. I'm like, he's going to fucking say it. He's going to fucking say it. And then he says it, and it's just like, I want to go home.
Dude, by that point in the movie, I'm already so bored and reminded about how bad this movie is edited together, is paced together. Did anyone notice that there's so many zooms and shaky cams all the fucking time? It's so aggravating. And then by the time you get to that scene where you're like, okay, they're obviously gonna morph now. And he said this morphin' time, I'm already just like,
it's about fucking time.
Cool. It's an hour and 30 fucking minutes, dude. This movie's 2 hours long. It's an hour and 30 minutes before you fucking morph? Come on. I understand you got to have an origin story. I get that. The movie's 2 hours and 2 minutes long. Get to it, dude. Like I said before, Power Ranger show. Power Ranger shit, front and center, teenage fucking drama in the background. They can both coexist, but I feel like people are there to see the Power Rangers, to see them kick ass, to see them saying cheesy lines when they're fighting, and spin kicks and backflips and fucking cameras on the ground, over jumps. That's what I want to fucking see. And by the time you get there, I'm already like, dude.
In the background.
Yeah. By the time we get there, I'm like, I'm tired of this, and I really want a Krispy Kreme donut. Fuck off.
The worst kind of advertising. I hate this, and I want a donut.
I think one of the saving graces, though, like after the morph, which was fucking terrible CGI and just a terrible process or segment, the saving grace was the OG theme from the 95 movie.
For 7 seconds, Kyle.
It didn't even fit in there.
Hey, that's all I needed. That's all I needed was that 7 seconds, dude.
They had all the Zords running just to say they're like, okay, we have this moment, but like those Zords were so fucking ugly.
They were shit.
The Mastodon had 6 legs. There was a shot where like when Zach went on his joyride, it like jumped off a cliff, and if you look, it's got like 6 appendages, 3 on each side. And I'm like, the fuck kind of Mastodon has 6 legs?
Did you have to hit on the note? 8 legs.
8 legs.
Even worse. Great.
Even worse. Thank you, Kyle.
I can't count, and it's worse.
But they got a lot of flack for that, for making the black guy the Black Ranger and the Asian woman the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah.
I understand they wanted to address that, but did you have to hit it any more on the nose than saying like he gets the blacks around fucking Billy, and Zach goes,
I'm black.
What?
I am. No, you're not. Not that black.
No, you're not.
I mean, come on. You might as well have had like a fucking studio exec pop on the screen for a second. Just go, got you guys. We got you, angry parents from the fucking 90s.
Oh
There
my
you go.
God. Dude, I'm black. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Jason's dad was randomly more essential in this movie than he needed to be. He was a random fisherman who happened to find Rita's body 65 million years after she flew into the ocean.
Another convenience.
Like the Titanic, they just dropped her into the ocean, never to be found again.
Can we back up to the Zords real quick for a second?
Yeah, what about him?
So when Zach goes on his little fucking, trip and just, they all walk away and he takes the Mastodon. Zordon explains earlier that kind of like the Zords are like one with you, but then there's controls. How does he know how to start the Zord? How did he go into the Zord? If he doesn't know how to do it, how did he start it? If he does know how to do it, why couldn't he control it? How does it happen?
Because later they have to get like hooked in, and then they get their little Wii remotes.
They have
and
like
that's
the
how
Matrix
they control them.
Yeah, they get like plugged in through their back when they sit back, but for some reason they still have controls. So do they think what happens and it does it, or are they figuring out on the fly? Either way, it doesn't make sense.
I feel like
there's a simple explanation for that.
I feel like when the thing hooked into their back, it like tapped into their nervous system essentially, like so they control it that way. But then
she's throwing a punch like this. Like Trini throws a punch and it's like a 2-second delay when she hooks off on it. And then Jason even goes, Kimberly, throw a hook.
On an airplane.
Yeah.
But then they're also falling around literally, and they're making mistakes and crashing into things, and they're trying to figure out how to do it on the fly. I don't know. Point is, it's not fucking explained, and it pissed me off.
So I made sure I wrote in my notes, 54 minutes in, we finally get the training montage begins. And this training montage consists of, let's see.
None of them actually knowing any martial arts and just beating the fuck out of each other. Dude, the best fighter in there is Alpha. Ready, Master Billy?
You get sent down to the pit, which is more rocks. Like, don't make it seem like you have all this room in a spaceship when you just sent them outside to the rocks. But okay. So we meet the putties that have like random arms growing out of their ass and awkward golem-looking things. Weird.
Brainy kicks a putty in the dick. Why does every Power Rangers movie have to have a villain getting kicked in the dick?
Taking care of business.
They think it's for the kids. Kick them in the dick for the kids.
They just figure out how to fight by fighting each other who don't know how to fight, and they just beat the shit out of each other to a pop song.
Don't forget.
Is that the now I make our hands clap?
I think that was it.
Billy claps along with the make your hands clap part too.
Trini and Kimberly are fighting over donuts in Krispy Kreme.
That's the first Krispy Kreme reference.
Yep, because they had
the knife thing.
A little donut fight.
Oh man!
I have superpowers. Watch me, Krispy Kreme.
This movie's painful, dude.
Wrestling. They were just throwing around simulation putties in a wrestling formation, and most just their ass kicked.
That's called planning an arc, Kyle, because later on the German suplex comes back. Kyle, should we explain to Leo what a German suplex is? That's
wait. I thought you were saying right. I thought that was you started that by like planning an arc, like that was the name of the move. Like, oh, okay, it's like planning an arc because you do it in like an arc formation. No, I guess it's apparently called a sumo schmex.
Yes, that joke can go in many directions. The direction you just brought it could be planning an arc, like ripping off Transformers, because isn't the little cube thing called the arc?
The Allspark.
Yeah, the Allspark. That's it. Whatever.
Catch me, the Allspark. Ooh, that was a good one.
So what is this German hooplex?
So
a German suplex when you hold someone from behind. It's the move that they do like fucking 5 times in the movie.
That's Hey, I learned something wrestling related.
Make Brock Lesnar even more mad. Who's gonna believe he went to Suplex City?
Did anybody catch the Transformers reference?
Bumblebee?
What? Or roll out?
Well, when they were when the Zords were running around, the T-Rex steps on a Camaro and like kicks it at Goldar, I guess. It was like, oh, sorry, Bumblebee.
Yeah. I understand if the greatest form of flattery is like when you get caught stealing or a certain ripoff of an idea, but you made a Marvel movie, you shouted out Iron Man and Spider-Man in the script, and then your movie looks a lot like Transformers, and you say Bumblebee. How the fuck are you going to deny that you're ripping off two other properties if you name drop said properties in your movie?
On top of references, Jason's dad at that one point where he happened to be driving through town looking for Jason.
I'm downtown. I'm at Mariner Bay and Reefside. Call me back as soon as you get this.
Time you get this voicemail, it'll probably be minutes later, and I'm going to be miles away. But don't worry, you'll be able to see me from the top of the Megazord cockpit that I'm all the way over there.
I did not realize he name dropped Mariner Bay and Reefside.
I didn't hear it until I was watching this last time around, but I probably wasn't paying much attention to that part of the movie because his dad was borderline useless.
Yeah.
In that part. So, but that was like, oh hey, that was a nice little Easter egg. Mariner Bay and Reefside are both towns that other seasons of Power Rangers take place.
Didn't Jason save his father as the Red Ranger?
Mm-hmm. Yes. He's like, Sam, take my hand.
How do you know my name?
And obviously his dad figures it out and puts a, newspaper clipping on the refrigerator at the end. I'm so proud of my son. He put on
He's not a disappointment anymore.
Now, when they transformed into the Megazord was bullshit too, because they were all standing there in their individual Zords trying to hold the line and doing a miserable fucking job at it. And the ground opens up, and was that supposed to be implied that because they were above the Krispy Kreme that it was the Zeo crystal that gave them the ability to turn into a Megazord? But also, was that not something that Zordon would have been like, combine your fucking Zord, you goddamn moron.
Here's some instruction, Rangers.
So,
I know from experience. When you're in this situation, do this. These things do that.
My take was either the Zeo Crystal or when they fell into the hole, they went near the Earth's core. And as a throwback to the 90s series, when the animals came out of the ground from the Earth's core, touching the core made them combine. Again, could be wrong. That's just the way that either that or the Zeo Crystal, like you said. But
either way, whether it's them just doing it, or if they did it, or if them touching the core or whatever made them become the Megazord, they didn't say anything about it. They didn't explain anything about it. There was no hints about like maybe they figured it out under distress, and them being a team, it just naturally makes it go together.
Yeah.
And again, do they control it or do they not?
Yeah, and the Megazord was so bad.
No, the Mama Zord.
One big Zord, like a Mama Zord. No, that sounds lame. A Megazord.
This fucking movie's so goddamn stupid.
But the best part about the Megazord was that you got to watch these 5 individual Zords come together and fucking become this big robot, and it kind of took it away. Where you're just like, oh well, I'm glad that the Earth's crust got to witness this transformation. Not like I wanted to fucking watch it.
Mm-hmm.
The Megazord's not like a super colorful. You don't see it.
Their suits were very dull in color. So like,
no, the Megazord
put them in random spots, like 2 shoulder blades, 2 kneecaps, and like one right in the center here. Like you couldn't
looks
just
like
put
a
them all
fucking
together.
It looks like there's no control center. It looks like a dull silver and blue glowing transformer. There's no personality to it. You couldn't see its face. It wasn't multicolored.
It's not like you had a multicolored villain to fight against. It was just a solid gold winged fuck.
Yeah.
Solid gold winged fuck.
So not only do they German suplex Goldar to defeat him, that's when they bitch slap Rita in the fucking space.
Because nothing says Power Rangers like a kick in the balls and slapping your enemies into space. Not to mention, we had our Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank cameo, which was essentially wasted just to have them look up at the Megazord and go,
well, there was 2 cameos. There were 2 cameos for them. One wasn't used in the movie.
No, I think there was another if I remember correctly, I'm gonna be completely fucking honest. I didn't even see the Amy Jo and JDF cameo because I turned the movie off before this. They were
you probably didn't make it that long.
no, so I turned it off right at the end when they won, and then Billy does the wiggle and makes the Megazord fucking dance. I went, nope, I'm done.
Yep.
I turned it right the fuck off right then and there.
What did you miss after that? They went back to detention and threw a note around in superhero fashion because we have to throw around notes to show that we're superheroes.
But at the end of after they were done doing that, the guy's calling attendance, and he goes, Tommy Oliver, and it cuts over, and there's a green jacket with a green folder on the table.
But even that, like, it didn't even make sense because when the Megazord slapped Rita away, she had her
space, by the way.
Which
they handed her
the power to try to let them go into space and be able to breathe and not turn into an icicle like goddamn supposed to. So they finally did it right.
They backhanded her in the fucking space. So fucking stupid. You know, the best part of this movie is when Jason smacks the fuck out of that bully.
Did you just slap me? I did. Weird, right?
In the first 5 minutes of the movie, for some reason it's not Bulk or Skull. That seemed like
they don't name drop them at all. They don't have it a duo. It was a complete waste of a call. Like they could have at least made.
Billy. So this movie pushed me to the fucking limits when he said, "If you must come at me, bro." And then 2 minutes later, when he says the wiggle, I'm fucking out. I'm done. I'm done, dude. Your Tommy Oliver fucking stinger cannot save you. I'm out.
When you were talking about JDF and Amy Jo, the second cameo, when they're doing the whole back and forth with the forks in the Krispy Kreme, they stop and they do this. And right next to them is JDF with long fucking hair. Like old school Tommy with the long hair. And Amy Jo, they're just like, the fuck are you doing? It's Krispy Kreme.
And to even have the two of them together makes no sense because canonically, Kimberly broke up with Jason via a letter and he moved on to Kat. So, it should have been Kat if you're going to, put two people together.
They got back together.
You meant Tommy, not Jason. But I think they weren't supposed to be them. I think they're just supposed to be random civilians, just cameos. But dude, you have this whole movie you're waiting for them to become the Rangers, and you finally do with 30 minutes left. And then after that slow motion fight scene with the putties, which is edited like goddamn fucking dog shit, the whole entire Zord scene, they have the Iron Man thing of the shield part of the mask is up.
Yeah.
So if I would I would get it if it's you can take it up, but then it'll snap down into safety mode when there's danger or something. You're fighting a fucking 150 foot high fucking Godzilla villain, and your mask is just up. I know they wanted to show off the actors more, but we want to see the suits at this point. We want to see the helmets.
You're in a city where people could be above the level that you're at or at the level you're at. They could very much just peek in your windshield and be like,
Zordon says, hide. What did you say? He says, protect your identity at all costs. And the first thing they do is go in public and they all take their fucking shields off.
Now, my rebuttal to that is, what if the shields were up to us, the viewers, but they were trying to when they're in the Zord, their faces are covered still, but they're only open to us so we can see their reactions and whatnot to what's going on.
If that was the case, they should have established it and shown it from two different perspectives so you can see that as the viewer. But
the outside view and then zoom in.
Completely agreed. And also at the end when it shows Jason putting his coin back, bro, keep the fucking coin. You're a Power Ranger. What? Why are you leaving it in the command center? Is there another team coming now?
Because he'll be ready for the next time, Kyle, for movie 2, which is coming soon. Dude, this project makes me have zero faith in where they could be going. I hope it's. I mean, it's been 7 years. Hopefully, it's not the same team that's doing the current reboot. But if it's anything like this, dude, I'm fucking nervous.
Skeptical at best. Mm-hmm. The only good thing is, I know we'll have plenty to talk about here on the channel, good or bad. So at least whatever they come out with, it always gives us content. There's a sentence.
Do you think Power Rangers is one of those franchises where it doesn't work in a cinematic form, where it kind of works better as a television show?
Yes.
I think if they take some of the television format and bring it to the theater, like give me a Green with Evil 5-parter as a movie. Like give me that kind of level of like, okay, you've got different story, like one big story, but enough broken up things happen in the middle of it where it kind of spreads things out a little bit.
I feel like the only exception to that though is the 95 movie, just because of how well it was made. And, you know, it stayed as true to the Power Rangers campiness and the Power Rangers show as it possibly could. Like, that's the best Power Rangers movie. Like, all these other ones, like the Zeo Quest and Turbo. Turbo was good. It was good, but it was also not so good. And by not so good, I mean Bulk and Skull speaking some kind of German language via going swimming, yeah? Yep, exactly. I personally give this movie like a 2 out of 10. I'll go as high as a 2 out of 10.
I'll give it a 1 only because it got made. Besides that, nothing about this movie actually functions as a good story or action-packed. It wants to be campy, but it doesn't want to be campy. It wants to be gritty, but then it wants to be super campy with its main villain. It fails in every fucking aspect, in my opinion.
No, I would definitely say this movie was definitely a 2 out of 100. Yeah, it was. It took too long. The pacing was awful, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's not a single redeeming quality I could name from this movie.
Rita,
that's about it. Rita, that's about it.
Yeah.
If you're really trying to pull some kind of shit and make it look like a piece of gold, it might be Rita. That's good.
Movie girl.
She looks like she was having fun with this movie.
1,000%.
That's about the only compliment I can give.
If you guys have enjoyed yourself here on Ranger Rabble today, make sure you like and subscribe. Smash that button, much like the Megazord bitch slapped Rita into space.
that whole thing.
Or do the wiggle to the subscribe button.
Yeah, do a wiggle.
Oh, man.
Although I will say, if I had a giant robot that I had access to, I would probably make him do a little gyration here or there. Just me.
I don't like you,
It's the inner tism in me. I'm right there with Billy, so like...
oh my gosh.
Wiggles.
Jesus Christ. Well, on that note, from all of us here at Nerd Daddy Productions, Ranger Rabble, and No Late Fees, I'm Kyle D.
Do I have to be like... I don't have my last name doesn't rhyme with that. Can I be Tomic B?
There you go.
Know.
There we go. That works. Tomic B. Fuck it. Yeah.
Tomic Book G.
Tomic Book G.
Again, guys.
My friend.
Yeah, Tomic Book G.
Remember to like, follow, subscribe. We scared Tom away. Thanks for tuning into Ranger Rabble episode 5. May the power protect you.